I mean, I've been in your position, but I can't even imagine right now what you are feeling. Try and describe it for us.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. I can't believe.
Alex Eala was in serious trouble. She was down 0-4 in the third set, staring at a match point on the verge of elimination in Abu Dhabi. For most 20-year-olds, that kind of pressure would be too much to handle. Most players in that situation would already be thinking about packing their bags and heading to the airport. But Alex Eala is different from most players. What she did next was absolutely incredible. She pulled off a comeback so gutsy and so unbelievable that it might go down as the defining moment of her entire career. This was a 3-hour battle that had Filipino fans completely losing their minds with excitement and nervous energy. If you love watching incredible tennis moments and stories of athletes refusing to give up, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another amazing comeback story like this one. Let me take you through what happened in this match and why it was so special. Alex was facing Aliaksandra Sasnovich in the round of 16. Now, if you remember, Sasnovich is a 31-year-old player from Belarus who had just pulled off a massive upset in the previous round. She had beaten Paula Badosa, who was the 8th seed in the tournament. Badosa used to be ranked number 2 in the world, and she is one of the most dangerous players on the tour when she is playing well. But Sasnovich took her down like it was nothing. She made it look easy. So now Alex, who was ranked number 45 in the world at the time, had to face this giant killer who was riding high on confidence from that huge win. When you looked at the matchup on paper, Sasnovich seemed to have every possible advantage. She was older and more experienced. She had momentum from that stunning upset over Badosa. On top of all that, she had actually entered the main draw as a lucky loser, which meant she had absolutely nothing to lose and everything to prove. Players in that position can be extremely dangerous because they feel free and loose. This was supposed to be where Alex's run in Abu Dhabi came to an end. It looked like a tough draw and an unlucky matchup, the kind that derails your tournament before you can really get going. But Alex clearly did not get that memo. The match started, and Sasnovich came out playing absolutely incredible tennis. She was hitting winners from every part of the court, moving Alex from side to side, making her work incredibly hard for every single point. Alex looked a step slow out there. She was making more unforced errors than usual. She could not find her rhythm at all. The first set went to Sasnovich by a score of 6-2. It was not even close. When you were watching a match like that, you start to worry that it might be over really quickly. Because when a veteran player who has momentum takes the first set that convincingly, they usually do not let up at all. They can smell blood in the water, and they go in for the kill. But here's what separates the champions from everyone else. They do not panic after playing one bad set. They make adjustments, they figure out what went wrong, and they fight back. Alex came out in the second set with completely different energy. Suddenly, her feet were moving better. Her forehand was finding the corners of the court. She was not playing scared anymore. She was playing to win. She took the second set 6-4. Now they were back to even at 1 set all. Everything would come down to the third and final set. The Filipino fans in the stadium were going absolutely wild at this point because they knew their girl had a real chance now. The momentum had shifted. This was anybody's match. But what happened in that third set is where legends are truly made. The third set started, and Sasnovich was clearly not about to let this match slip away from her. She jumped ahead quickly, 1-0, then 2-0, then 3-0, and then 4-0. Alex was down a break in every single service game. Sasnovich was serving at 4-0. If she held her serve here, it would be 5-0, and the match would basically be over. The whole thing was slipping away from Alex. Her dream of making it to the quarterfinals was dying right there on the stadium court in front of everyone. But somehow, some way, Alex managed to break back and make it 1-4. Sure, she had a game on the board now, but she was still down 1-4 in the deciding set against an opponent who had dominated her throughout most of the match. Most players in that situation would have been thinking something like, well, at least I tried my best. At least I did not lose 6-0 in the third set. They would be playing just to avoid total embarrassment, not actually playing to win the match. But not Alex Eala. This young woman looked at that 1-4 deficit and said to herself, "No way, we are coming back from this." And then, this is the incredible part, she saved a match point. Just imagine the nerves in that moment. Imagine the pressure she was feeling. She was 1 point away from going home. One single mistake and her entire tournament would be over. Everything she had worked for in Abu Dhabi would be done. Sasnovich had match point. The crowd was holding its breath. Filipino fans watching were probably praying, and Alex stepped up and saved it. I don't know exactly what shot she hit. I don't know if it was a perfect serve or an incredible return or a gutsy winner hit down the line, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. She saved match point when it mattered most. That shows ice-cold killer instinct. From that moment on, the entire match completely flipped. After saving that match point, Alex just did not stop fighting. She kept grinding, kept believing in herself, even when logic and the scoreboard said she was finished. The score started creeping closer, 2-4, then 3-4, then 4-4. She had leveled it from 0-4 down to 4 all, winning 4 straight games in the deciding set of a nearly 3-hour match when she was supposed to be dead and buried. The energy in that stadium must have been absolutely electric. Filipino fans were screaming on every single point. Alex was feeding off that energy. Sasnovich was probably wondering how this was even happening to her. The two players traded games, 5 all, then 6 all. Neither player could break through. This match was going to a tiebreak, and honestly, after everything everyone had witnessed, whoever won this tiebreak would absolutely deserve it, because both of them had left everything they had out there on the court. The final score in the tiebreak was 7-5 in favor of Alex Eala. The match score was 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, nearly 3 hours of absolute warfare on a tennis court. Alex Eala, who had been down a set and down 0-4 in the third set and facing match point, had just completed one of the most insane comebacks you will ever see in tennis. She had punched her ticket to the quarterfinals. After the match was over, Alex talked about her ability to find the fight in crucial moments, and that statement is absolutely perfect because that is exactly what she did out there. When most players would have quit mentally, she found the fight inside herself. When the score said she was supposed to lose, she found the fight. When her body was probably completely exhausted after almost 3 hours of intense tennis, she found the fight. She also gave a massive shout out to the Filipino crowd, because let's be honest, they were like her sixth sense out there. Every time she needed energy, they gave it to her. Every big point, they lifted her up. That kind of support is not just nice to have. At that level of tennis, with that much pressure riding on every point, it is absolutely essential. Look, winning matches and climbing up the rankings is great. Alex moving closer to the top 40 in the world rankings is amazing. But this particular win is the kind of win that changes a career. Because now Alex knows, she really truly knows, that she can come back from anything. She knows she can save match points. She knows she can win when she is supposed to lose. She knows she can dig deeper than she ever thought possible and find a way to win. That kind of confidence is invaluable. You cannot buy that. You cannot practice that in training sessions. You only get that by actually doing it under the bright lights with everything on the line. The next time Alex finds herself in a tough spot, down a set, down a break, facing serious adversity, she is going to remember Abu Dhabi. She is going to remember that she came back from 0-4 down in a deciding set, and she is going to believe that she can do it again. That is what makes this win career-defining. It is not just about advancing to the next round. It is about proving to yourself that you have what it takes when the pressure is at its absolute highest. So Alex moved on to the quarterfinals, where she would face Ekaterina Aliaksandrova, the world number 2 seed in the tournament. This is the same player that Zeynep Sönmez beat at the Australian Open. And if you think Alex is going to be intimidated by facing the second seed, you have not been paying attention. This is a player who just beat a giant killer in the most dramatic fashion possible.
This is a player who saves match points and wins deciding set tiebreaks after being down 0-4. This is a player who has ice running through her veins and an entire nation backing her every move. Aliaksandrova is the favorite, sure. She is ranked higher. She has more experience at this level of the game. But you know what Alex has? She has momentum. She has belief in herself. And she has the fearlessness that comes from knowing you can win from impossible positions. I'm not saying that Alex is definitely going to win that quarterfinal match, but I am also not betting against her, not after what we just witnessed in that third round match. Can we talk for a moment about what this means for Philippine tennis? Alex Eala is not just winning matches, she is inspiring an entire generation of young tennis players. Kids in Manila, in Cebu, in Davao, they are watching her fight on the world stage and thinking to themselves, maybe I can do that too. She is proving that you do not need to come from a traditional tennis powerhouse country to compete with the best players in the world. You do not need unlimited resources or perfect facilities. What you need is heart, incredible work ethic, and the refusal to quit when things get hard. And Alex has all three of those qualities in abundance. Every time she steps on the court, she is representing millions of people, and instead of crumbling under that weight and pressure, she uses it as fuel to power her through difficult moments. That Filipino crowd in Abu Dhabi was not pressure for her, it was power. That is special. That is rare. That is what makes Alex more than just a tennis player. She is a symbol of what is possible when you believe in yourself and refuse to give up. You know what this comeback told me about Alex Eala? She is built for the big moments. Most players would have lost that match against Sasnovich. Statistically speaking, when you were down 0-4 in a deciding set against a dangerous opponent who is playing well, you are supposed to lose. The odds are completely stacked against you. The math says you are done. But tennis is not played on a calculator or a spreadsheet. It is played with heart and guts and the will to keep fighting when every logical part of your brain is screaming at you that it's over. Alex Eala has that will to fight, and now the whole tennis world knows it. 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, down 0-4 in the deciding set, saved match point, nearly 3 hours of intense battle. This is one of the greatest comebacks of the 2026 season so far, and you know what? I don't think she's done yet, not even close. The way Alex fought back in that match shows incredible mental toughness. Mental toughness in tennis is often more important than physical skills, because everyone at the professional level can hit the ball well. What separates the good players from the great ones is what happens between the ears. It's about staying calm under pressure. It's about believing you can win even when the scoreboard says otherwise. It's about finding solutions when your original game plan is not working. Alex showed all of those qualities in this match.
Think about what was going through her mind when she was down 0-4. She had already lost the first set badly. She had fought back to win the second set and force a decider. And then, in that deciding set, she fell behind by 4 games immediately. Most players would start to think about all the negative things. They would think about how tired they are. They would think about how well their opponent is playing. They would think about the flight home. But Alex clearly did not let those thoughts take over. She stayed focused on the present moment. She stayed focused on the very next point. That ability to stay in the present is something all great athletes talk about. You cannot change what already happened. You cannot control what might happen in the future. All you can control is what you do right now in this very moment. Alex understood that. When she was down 0-4, she did not think about needing to win 3 games to get back in it. She thought about winning 1 point, then another point, then another game. And before she knew it, the match was level at 4-all. The Filipino fans who were there in Abu Dhabi must have been on an emotional roller coaster. Imagine watching your player get crushed in the first set. Then she fights back to win the second set, and you start to believe. Then she falls behind 0-4 in the third set, and you think it is over. Then she starts to come back, and you are screaming your head off, barely able to watch. Then she saves match point, and you cannot believe what you are seeing. Then she actually completes the comeback and wins in a tiebreak. What an incredible experience that must have been for those fans. This is why sports are so amazing. This is why we watch, because sometimes you witness something truly special, something that defies logic and statistics, something that reminds you that the human spirit is capable of incredible things when pushed to its limits. Alex Eala gave us one of those moments in Abu Dhabi. For young players watching this match, there are so many lessons to learn. The first lesson is to never give up. It sounds simple, but it is true. Alex was dead and buried in that match. Any reasonable person would have thought she was going to lose, but she kept fighting and she found a way. The second lesson is that momentum can shift in an instant. One saved match point changed everything. The third lesson is to use your support system. Alex fed off the energy of the Filipino crowd. She did not try to do it all alone. She accepted their energy and let it lift her up. Another lesson is about preparation. You do not pull off a comeback like that without having done the work beforehand. Alex has clearly put in countless hours of training. She has worked on her fitness so that she could still compete at a high level in the third hour of a match. She has worked on her mental game so that she could stay calm under extreme pressure. She has worked on her technique so that she could hit the shot she needed when it mattered most. All of that preparation paid off in Abu Dhabi. The story of this match will be told for years to come. When people talk about the greatest comebacks in tennis history, this match will be mentioned. When people talk about Alex Eala's career, this will be one of the defining moments. It is the kind of match that players show to their students and say, this is what is possible when you believe in yourself. This is what happens when you refuse to quit. For Alex, personally, this win does more than just put her in the quarterfinals. It gives her a reference point for the rest of her career. Whenever she faces adversity in the future, and she will face plenty of it because that is what happens in professional sports, she can look back at this match. She can remember that she was down 0-4 in the third set, facing match point, and she still found a way to win. If she could do that, she can handle anything tennis throws at her. The confidence boost from a win like this cannot be overstated. Confidence in sports is everything. When you believe you can win, you play differently. You go for your shots. You trust your abilities. You do not hesitate. Alex now has the confidence that comes from doing something truly remarkable. She has proven to herself that she belongs at this level. She has proven that she can beat quality opponents in high-pressure situations. Looking ahead to her quarterfinal match against Aliaksandrova, Alex has nothing to lose. She is the underdog. Nobody expects her to win, but she has already exceeded expectations by getting this far. That freedom can be dangerous for opponents. When a player has nothing to lose and everything to gain, they play with a fearlessness that is hard to match, and Alex has already shown she has plenty of fearlessness. What is also exciting is thinking about what Alex can achieve in the future. She is only 20 years old. She has so much time to develop her game even further. She has already shown she has the mental toughness to compete at the highest level. As she gains more experience, as she continues to improve her skills, there is no telling how far she can go. This match in Abu Dhabi might just be the beginning of something special. For the Filipinos, having a player like Alex competing at this level is huge. Tennis has traditionally been dominated by players from certain countries with long tennis traditions and extensive resources, but the sport is becoming more global. Players from all over the world are making their mark. Alex is part of that wave. She is showing that talent and determination can come from anywhere. She is inspiring the next generation of Filipino players to pick up a racket and dream big. The 3-hour battle against Sasnovich will be remembered as a turning point. It was the match where Alex Eala announced to the tennis world that she is a force to be reckoned with. It was the match where she showed she has the heart of a champion. It was the match where she proved that she can win from anywhere, no matter how dire the situation looks. Watch out, tennis world. Alex Eala just announced that she is not going anywhere. And if you thought she was dangerous before this match, wait until you see what she does now that she knows she can win from impossible positions. The comeback queen of Abu Dhabi has arrived. Let's go, Alex.